Diana raised to the unfinished house, and she was laying there under the steps in the house with one head to the ground and blood oozing from either her ear or her head. Because I didn't go too close, I can't tell where the blood was coming from, but there was blood on the floor. I got back out and told them to go and call some of the neighbors. Like Chris, he lived right across there. Chris had just come from playing with me. Go and get Chris, another neighbor by the name of Richard right here. Go and get Richard and a few other people. You'll help me put her in the car. I went in the room to put on clothes. They went and get the girl. By the time I got out, I put her in the car. I personally drove the car, the BMW that's parked up front, to ELWA hospital. When I got there, I was very, very frantic and confused because the girl was helpless. She was unconscious, but she was breathing. She was making efforts to move her arm, but not really fast. I parked the car right at the entrance of the hospital and was about to go in. When the emergency room people told me, no, you got to go back and park the car. Somebody would take her to the emergency room. One of the security, along with the guy who helped me to carry her, took her through the emergency entrance at the back of ELWA hospital. And they put her on bed. I went and parked the car and came in. The security escorted me to the nurse's station. I was anxious to see how she was. So I asked them first, have you started treating her? They said, no. But have you put her on bed? They said, yes, she's on bed. And I said, can I see her? I walked towards the back, and there was a guy dressed in white with a mask. Either he was taking her vitals or something. And he told me, we are doing our work, please excuse us. So I then went back to the nurse's station and asked whether they began treating her. And they said they cannot do anything because they don't know her medical history. Somebody had to give her medical history. Then I realized I don't know her. She's not my daughter, she's just one of my daughter's friends. So I told her she's just one of my daughter's friends, but she's bleeding. If you can at least help to control the bleeding while we try to find out who her parents are. It took almost 30 to 45 minutes of negotiation and pleading before I could leave the hospital. I was calling my children at that same time because she was their friend. If they could tell me who she was, but none of them were answering their phone. So I drove back from ELWA here on my compound. But then the girls had come back. I didn't notice who all were in the house. I specifically called my daughter. And I said, you see what you've done? I told you guys shouldn't go out. Now we have this problem. You guys need to go and identify your friend. So Abraham took the Sequoia, my other vehicle, and I don't know who all got in it. I told them you'll go to the hospital and identify the girl. So they drove to the hospital together. In another 30 to 45 minutes, Abraham came back and said the nurses or the hospital said that they needed the card they gave you when they opened her file to be able to start treating her. So he took the card back to the hospital. By early morning, probably around 3:30, 4 o'clock, Diana came walking in the room and told me that the girl didn't survive. She died. I cried bitterly that morning because I was reflecting a lot. This could have been my daughter that I told not to go, that this thing happened to, but it was somebody else's child. Then I got to know in the morning that this girl was not part of the 8 children that were here. She was one of their classmates that simply came to join them in the evening when they decided to go out together. According to them, while they were there together, she left the group for a prolonged period. How long that is, they couldn't tell me the time, but she left for a prolonged period, and she left her purse. One of the girls, Tita, who is also one of my dependents, was the one that took her purse. And her phone was constantly ringing. When Tita held the purse, she said, but where is Odell gone? Her purse is here, we're just calling. Later on, she joined them and took her purse. According to them, she went to the DJ, who is her friend, and asked for a drink. And then she left. Where did she go? They couldn't tell me whether she went home, where she went, they didn't know. until they heard that she was here on the floor bleeding. So to the best of my knowledge, that's the fact of the story that I know. I'm understanding that the hospital is claiming that she died on arrival, or she was dead on arrival. I want the press to know that that is not true. This girl, whose name I got to know for the first time when my daughter finally told me her name was Odell, was alive. She was breathing. I'm still trying to understand. I'm baffled, bewildered, and completely confused as to how these things happen. The next morning, by 6:30 to 7 o'clock, the police were here. The forensic unit and the crime services division were here. And they took a tour of the facility, which is the unfinished house under construction. And they took pictures of the facility and asked me to accompany them to the police station. We went to Zone 8 initially, and the team there said that everyone had been transferred to Central, so they would prefer that I go to Central. I went to Central, and I was told that I was not compelled to make any statement until I consulted my lawyer. Oswald Tuer is my lawyer, so I called Councillor Tuer. Councillor Tuer assigned a lawyer by the name of Frank Nimler. Frank Nimler came along sometime in the afternoon of that Tuesday. And in his presence, I made a statement that I'm just making to you regarding my knowledge of the circumstances regarding this girl's death. We were at the police station up on the 6 o'clock that evening when Frank was told that I could leave only under his custody. So he signed for me to go with him and come back the next day. By 10 o'clock the next day, I was at the police station, answered further questions, went to the Crime Services Department office, where all of the major players in the Crime Services Department interacted with me, and I clarified my side of the story. I spent all of Wednesday there again, until in the evening, when Frank again was told that he needed to sign for me, and when the police need me, he would invite me to come. So that's how I left. I need for the public to know, the media in particular, that I am in no way associated with this girl's death, apart from the role I played in taking her to the hospital. If that was my daughter, that's what I would do. If I were passing on the street and saw a person bleeding, that's what I would do. And that I'm deeply sympathetic with the family whose young daughter life had been cut this short. The evening of the 21st, when we left the police station, my pastor and members of the church and I went directly to the house where the girl used to live to express our sympathy and my personal brokenness that this thing happened in my yard. The father wasn't there. I requested the phone number of the father, who happens to be one Alfonso Sherman I knew at that time. Now I am understanding that he is a stepfather and the biological father is one Ben Gray. I took Alfonso's number. Actually, I didn't take it that night because they didn't have it, their phone was off. It was at the police station that I got his number. I called him from the police station, identified myself as Reverend Giddings, in whose compound the girl was found unconscious, and tried to sympathize with him and to help him understand I feel for his loss, and in whatever way I can be supportive or make myself available. That phone call also has been misconstrued as me negotiating with him to remove the case from the police. That is not true. I never spoke to Alfonso about that. I simply called to say I'm sorry that this happened. I called the aunt Veronica to ask again for the number of the father. Never at any point in time did I suggest to any of them that they should remove the case from police custody. Apart from the time that I took her to the hospital, I had not gone to the hospital again until Wednesday evening when the state decided to go and remove the body. And because I was the one who admitted her to the hospital, I went to pay the hospital bill. So that is a level of knowledge and interaction I have with the situation.
So that will take a few questions. You just call your name and introduce yourself at the station and then you answer the question.
Yeah, I work with I'm Cemetery. I listened to you said the girl in question was some part of the three girls that were jumping at your restaurant, and for the fact that all of the eight girls were at the club. My concern is, how did she get into the compound? For the fact that you gave her space, so how did she get into the compound to enter the restaurant?
I understood from the security that was on guard that night that when she came and knocked at the gate, he asked her, "Who is it?" And she identified herself as one of the girls standing here at the house. The security claims that he did not know all of them facially. So because she said she was one of them, he admitted her in. He had a catch at the gate where they would normally enter. He said there's a catch in the gate. When you go, just remove it and go in. He said he watched her go to the gate, took out the catch, and went into the yard.
Yeah.
Very prior to her death or her coming here, did your daughter say to you anyway whatever acquaintance or visiting with them before sending her in second school? Did you get information of such?
My
Following up
interaction,
with that is also where were the police in the midst of all this driving her off to the hospital and all that?
okay. To the first question, I asked my daughter whether this girl had been here during the month-long stay. They said no, she had not been here to see them. The only time she came here was the morning of the 20th. She came because she heard they were going out together. She came to ask them if she could go along. That's what my daughter said. Has she ever been here to the yard before this day? They said no. But she's their classmate and she's in a different section. So she was not like a buddy friend, but she was somebody they knew. Relevant to where was the police during the time I took her to the hospital and so forth, it was not in my mind that it would end up as a tragedy. In my mind, when the boy told me first there was a girl bleeding, my initial assumption was somebody with some illness like epilepsy, they had just passed out and fell. And sometimes that happens, somebody falls from epilepsy, they hurt themselves and they are bleeding. I thought it was minor. And taking her to the hospital was my initial instinct reaction. Like I said in my narrative, there are many instances all the way from the United States to here where I see strange people in critical conditions and I would just help. Especially this one is on my premise. It didn't occur to me to call police at that time because there was no reason to call police. There was an injured girl that needed attention. So in my mind, I thought that what every parent would do. If a girl was among your children and she was wounded, you would take her to the hospital.
Yeah, so I have a few questions. My name is Betty. I'm from Front Page Africa. And I'd like to know on one, if you were the parent of this ordeal with this incident now, what will be your next step? And why you think people are so sentimental concerning this? And at the same time, you appear on few radio stations this morning with a lady. Is that the friend of the deceased?
Okay, so let's take your question one by one. You had three. Let's hear the first one clearly. The first question was what?
Was
if I were the parent,
yes.
How I would feel?
Yes.
What I would
at
do?
this time, yes.
Well,
most especially when your kid died within another person's
yes.
house. Yeah.
I would be disturbed, obviously. And that's the reason why I went to the parents. Because I know anybody, not just parent, relative, family, brother, sister, whose relative died under circumstances like that, of course, you will be upset, you will be disturbed. So I don't think the parents should feel any differently about the death of their child. They should feel very worrisome. And they should be concerned as to how it happened. If I were the parent, I would be wanting to know how it happened. And I'm also wanting to know how it happened because I'm placing myself in the position of the parents. Like I said, the reason for which I took her is because I assumed the position of a parent. And how it happened, I would be concerned. As to whether she was, the second question is what?
Was why you think people are so sentimental concerning this?
You know, that is the Liberian society. I can't answer what's in the mind of people, why they are so sentimental. I've heard comments, sad comments, like, I sacrificed the girl. I've seen Facebook postings that I raped and murdered her. Now, I will not pay attention to the Facebook comments because people take rumors and they run with it without trying to find facts. I'm even more worried that people are more concerned about the sentiment of the case than the fact. They've drawn conclusions. Yesterday there were people around here saying that they are going to burn down my house, they're going to stop me from going to church. I don't understand what this is about. So why people are doing that, I have no clue. I cannot pass judgment on the Liberian society as a whole to say this is our mindset. But I would venture to say the ill of our society that I have fought for over a decade, which is ignorance and mass illiteracy, could be very responsible, very well responsible for this problem. Because in an informed society, that wouldn't happen. People would be interested in the facts, not rumors. There are variations of accounts as to what happened here. There are very graphic explanations that I've heard, how the girl parts were being extracted and were attempting to throw her over the fence, and somebody saw me, I hurriedly came and put her in a car and took her to the hospital. These accounts are just the way people do. So I would prefer not to go into the mind of people to say this is why. I don't know.
Three? No, the third one was that
Appearance on the meeting.
appearance.
Yes. My brother arranged for me to appear on the Costa show this morning.
Okay.
And it's only one radio station, by the way, that have been at Nakopo. And he told me that Costa wants at least two persons, one of the girls and one of the people that were here with me playing pool that night.
Okay.
So the girl is not particularly a friend. I don't know their relationship, but she's in close proximity to us. She lives on the Methodist village. So I asked my daughter Cynthia, the girls that were all here with you, can you identify one of them that could go? Mm-hmm. And she said, Patricia lives on the village. She could be the easiest one to reach. I wanted Cynthia to go, but then my brother advised against that because she's my daughter, and you wouldn't allow her, you wouldn't expect her to say objective statements. So we decided to take Patricia along.
And sorry for that. So let's say I'm a bit concerned on why didn't you carry the two guys that were here at the time in which the body was discovered?
I just said the Costa requested two persons, one of the students and one of the people that were playing with me.
Okay.
That's what my brother said. Okay. So I was simply doing that. I would prefer to go alone, but he said he wanted us to. And even when the two persons went, his interaction with them were minimal.
Okay, so where are these two people that helped you that day at the time in which the body was placed in the car?
I'm sorry?
Declare the body.
Not the body of the girl.
Sorry, the girl.
The unconscious girl.
There were many people that went with me. Chris is still living here. Abraham spent 3 days in the police cell and was released to the lawyer custody. So he is with family people. And he is right now at the police station. He just called me from there, present day.
Yeah. I got two questions already.
On the night of the discovery, did you in any way alert neighbors because you live with people?
Yes.
That's the first question. The second question has to do with, from your explanation, you said you went to the hospital and you asked to see the lady, but the doctor said they were doing their work. Why do you think they will say she died upon arrival?
I have no answer for that because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a hospital. What I have answer for is what I know. I put her there and I made her put her on bed. So why do we say she died on arrival? I don't have an answer. Relative to me calling neighbors, yes, I just pointed to you that Chris is across there. Chris was playing here with me that night, and he was one of the few that went with me to the hospital. Rachel lives over here, and my daughter also went and woke up neighbors all the way down to Victoria's house. There were some people across the street, so this yard was filled with me and a dozen people that morning. But specifically Chris and Wilson, and I think one other person that I can't recall went with me.
They were here before you took away the...
Yeah, they went in the car with me. They're the ones who brought her to the car. And they went in the car with me to the hospital. They're the ones who can testify that she was living when we took her.
To date, what the hospital is saying, because based on what we hear about rape and all of that, what's the report now are you hearing of what they said they see?
Report?
Cause of death, that's why.
No, I haven't had any official report. No.
And why are you not getting it?
I can't really answer why I'm not getting it. I can speculate. I have not asked the hospital directly for the report. Secondly, I'm not a parent. So I believe the hospital is releasing a report to the parents and the family. And it could be that because I haven't asked directly what is the report. And part of my own reason for avoiding that involvement is because of the speculations already that I'm trying to manage information, I'm trying to manipulate situation. So I'm avoiding any contact with facts, like the hospital report, the police report, before I further complicate situations, he's manipulating and changing information. So I'm just avoiding it. If you see that I have avoided the press up to now of making statements, it's because even my call to the family was misinterpreted and misconstrued. And on Sunday, I was advised by Reverend Johnson that my trying to reach out to people is a big mistake, that it's going to sound like I'm nervous about something, and I'm not. I'm just trying to be sympathetic to the situation. So that's the reason why I don't have this information.
Two more questions.
Reverend, I'm interested in how the violator, LSU, for your narrative, you said she was not part of the acres here, but you said she came from the club before coming here, and somebody discovered her phone and purse at that time, and the phone was ringing. In my mind, somebody may have called her. Did you inform the police to get the phone and follow the call to know who called her? Did she get in here?
You asking one question? Or
Yeah, one, just A, B, do yeah.
Okay. Yes, I need to understand the first question first.
My point is, how did she leave from the club here, because she was not part of the number?
Of phone records.
Yes, of phone records. I'm interested in your phone records.
Okay.
Because you said a friend, she left her phone there, and they were kind of wondering why.
Yeah.
her phone
I can't answer that question because I don't know why she left, how she left, where she went. I cannot answer that. I know from the testimony of her friends that were at the table that she left. And she left her purse. And my daughter, Tita Giddings, took the purse and put it in her lap. So it's not one of her friends, it's my daughter, Tita, that took the purse. And her phone was ringing. Who was calling her, I have no idea. And I have no access to her phone record.
Yeah, my name is Hansen Dega and I report for Truth FM. I did listen to you when you said that the hospital report stating that the lady died upon arrival, for which of course you said that it is not true. But my concern is that at the time you people took her at the hospital, when she was admitted, was there anybody action to prove that she was still alive?
I'm sure the staff record is at the hospital, all the people that were on shift that night. And for the record, I cannot prove that the hospital says she died on arrival. That is what's being reported. I have not seen a report that says she died on arrival. But that's the information I'm hearing, and I'm reacting to that information. The people who went with me to the hospital, they're living here. Wilson, who took her body and placed her on bed, he's here. She was alive. So there are people from here, from the community, and I hope the hospital staff will also testify that she was alive. If they run a log of who are the people that were on attendance that night and try to identify the staff that attended to her, I would be very interested in hearing what they have to say. If she was dead on arrival, why did they put her on bed? Why did they want to open a chat for her? Why were they interested in her medical history if she was dead? If she was dead, why didn't you just take her to the morgue after seeing the body and say, no, we cannot accept a dead person in the hospital? Why did they put her on bed? So the hospital has to answer that question, not me.
Yeah, lastly.
You run the Alphabet International Liberia chapter, is an international organization, and you have this local NGO, LGN, that's the Liberia Ghana Mission. What impact is this having on you and your institution now with this information?
I think the attack on me personally is more destructive to my institution than me, because I'm the face of the institution. So both AFALET and LGN, I believe, are seriously affected by this situation. But first, I need to exonerate myself. Once I'm vindicated and exonerated, both from the statements you gather from me, from the facts, and from the police report, and all of that, then we can figure out how to concentrate on the damage it caused to my institution.
So it caused damage already?
Well, you can imagine that there have been no obvious damage reported to the institution, but there will be indirect damages as a result of that. Because if you didn't know me and you were at a radio station and heard Emmanuel Giddings, director of Alphabet, of course that affects your thinking about the institution already. So I have no way of saying the level of harm that does to the institution.
Wheezy
Yeah,
and Betty
and-
will close.
I'm concerned on whether you support an autopsy to be done.
Yes, thank you for asking that question. I support if...
Why?
Right, let me answer that. I think the lack of information in the public, including police statements or basic baseline information, is contributing to the speculations. So the quicker and the sooner we can find, we can get the reports, including an examination and autopsy and all of that, the sooner we can get those reports, the better.
And let's say, I'd like to know the number of people that are currently living within this compound.
Directly in my house, there will be 4 to 6 individuals that live in the house. But my total number of dependents fluctuates between that number and 12, 10 at any given time. Because family people come, some of my sons live across the road in some of the properties that I own, but they are under my dependency. So I consider them living with me, but they don't reside in the house.
And let's say there are allegations that you have an interest within young women. Do you care to respond to that, please?
That's very difficult to respond to.
Okay.
Allegations are allegations. Perceptions are perceptions. Innuendos are innuendos. Facts are facts. I'm telling you the facts.
Good.
Wheezy the
Yeah,
last.
lastly, what is the church saying concerning these allegations? What are the church telling you?
I hope you are not assuming that I'm the pastor of the church. I am not. I'm the counseling elder of the Methodist Church, United Methodist Church in Dwazo. The pastor is Reverend Charles Winslow Fisk. And the church is equally disturbed because people are even accusing the church of involvement in this situation. There were even rumors that the body was found in the bishop's yard, my bishop choir. And I understand that one of the radio stations carried that yesterday. I don't know which one of you did, but that's very damaging because it's not in the bishop's yard. I also understand that there was a radio station this morning that reported that I had left the country by 11 o'clock this morning. Please go back and clarify that. I'm here. I have never left this yard. People have suggested to me that for my security, I need to leave. I refuse to leave because if I leave this place, I will be further feeding into this sentiment that I've done something wrong, so I'm on the run. I am here. From day one, I have been visible. I have been to the police station. There have been even allegations that the police never questioned me. That is not true. The police questioned me. I made a statement to the police. I spent 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, all day at the police station.
Final question, from my end. What is your relationship with community members?
What I think is different from what the community feels and thinks. I've always said to myself that the best security anyone can have is good neighborliness, not armed security guarding you. Apart from God, I believe that good neighbors make the best security. So I've tried to build very good relationship with my community members, including local vendors, including the so-called Zogo community. They are my friends, my neighbors. I make sure that I extend hand to the community at large. From my perspective, I will assume that the community see me as a prominent and good citizen. From their perspective, I don't know. Because I know in the days of Jesus, while he fed the hungry and healed the sick and opened the eyes of the blind, it was the same people on the day when they said, Hosanna, Hosanna, on the next day was saying, crucify him. So I have pictures of some of the community, people that were on the street. And many of them are people that have come here to my yard that I personally aided, either through provision of help to go to school, food, business, and whatnot. So I do what I do. I know that my heart is a generous heart, and I'm not going to stop being who I am. But how the community thinks and feels, I have no clue. And the reason why people would take interest in tarnishing my reputation rather than in the fact, that is for the community to answer.
Okay. So thank you all.